Hello, welcome to Member 365's webinar on financial focus. I'm Kaga Els, Member 365's knowledge base expert, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Today, we're going to be going over creating an ad hoc invoice. We're going to be looking at accounts receivables, journal entries, revenue reports, and automated recurring billing. Then we're going to have some time for questions and answers. If you do have any questions during the webinar, feel free to write them in the chat box located in the bottom right corner of your screen, and I'll get to them as soon as we finish. So we're going to start off signed in as an administrator to Member 365. And the tab that we're going to be focusing on today for today's Financial Focus webinar is the Financial tab. You'll see the drop-down menu when selecting the Financial tab. And the first section that we're going to pay attention to is Manage Invoices, which has Create, you can view drafts, modify invoices, delete invoices, and view those archived invoices. Our first task is to create an ad hoc invoice. An ad hoc invoice is used to create an invoice that Member 365 wouldn't automatically create. So we automatically create your event registration invoices, your membership invoices, if you're posting a job, those invoices. But say that this is out of your scope of your organization. Maybe a sponsor has come to you and said that they want to sponsor your event, and therefore you have to provide them with an invoice to do so. So you would select the contact that you are invoicing. I'm going to say Ellen DeGeneres because she's pretty generous. The date is automatically populated. You're able to change that if you're maybe recalling an invoice or setting an invoice for the future. You're able to set a purchase order. Provide a description of the item. I'm just going to say sponsor gold event. 1 unit. And I'm going to say she's going to sponsor $5,000. Once I click off that, you'll notice that the tax automatically comes in. It'll display the total, the amount paid, which is 0 because she hasn't paid anything yet, and the amount due. When I scroll down, I have an option to add a line, so by adding a line, it allows you to add another item to this invoice. And I can also accept the type of payments that I will accept. So for this example, I'm going to say I'm only accepting checks, so she can only pay me via check. I can then save this as draft. I can send the invoice to Ellen via email, or I can process the payment right here. Maybe she's already given me the payment, but I'm creating this invoice and I'm processing the payment here. Once I come up after saving, you'll notice that the invoice number was automatically populated. You don't have to manually do that. It all tracks itself. I'm going to send by email. Email template comes up, and I can click skip email or send. I'm going to click skip. So now my invoice is successfully saved. We're going to talk about accounts receivable now. So that's how you create an ad hoc invoice. Now finding accounts receivable, financial, scroll down, accounts receivable. Accounts receivable is where you would go when you're accepting payment for either an event registration, a membership, or even an ad hoc invoice. So here we go, Ellen DeGeneres' invoice that we had just created, and I'm going to say that she did send me a check. If perhaps you said that you are only accepting check, but then they call you and say, hey, can I pay credit card over the phone? You're able to do that also here by simply just clicking credit card. This example, I will do the check though. Provide a check number, the date received, and any comments that maybe you deposit on 16th. Maybe you can only deposit this check on a certain date. Again, you can continue and skip email or continue and send an email. So that's it for the ad hoc invoices and the accounts receivable. Now let's check out the journal entries. Back to that financial tab, scroll down until you find journal entries. Here's where you would generate a journal entry report. You can do this by clicking in the date range that you want the report to provide. And as soon as you hit Generate Report, an Excel spreadsheet will be automatically downloaded to your computer. So you can send that off to your accountant if you need to, or if you do that yourself, and easily import that into your accounting system. Revenue reports is along the same lines. Select Revenue Report, select the start and end date of the revenue report. This differs because you can choose the revenue type. So you can select all, or be more specific along, maybe you only want to see revenue for memberships or only events. Once you click Generate Report, again it'll download into an Excel document. With this document, you can manipulate the report to maybe show graphs if you have to display this at a board meeting, anything along those lines. You're able to manipulate that data and show your revenue. One thing I am going to touch on as well, speaking of revenue, upcoming renewals is a really handy tool to see what revenue you'll be getting soon. So to look at upcoming renewals to kind of predict the money income in the future, you go to Report, Membership, and close to the bottom, you'll see Upcoming Renewals. Here you can specify a date. So I know in the next 60 days, Lucas Edward has an upcoming renewal. The organization will be getting money from that. And then here are all of them in the next 120 days. Automated recurring billing is our next topic, which back to the financial tab. And right at the bottom, you'll see automated recurring billing report. So you can pull this report either on membership or donation. An automated recurring billing, you can have it set up so when somebody joins your organization that they're automatically billed yearly. To do this, they would simply have to do it through their credit card, and therefore you're not chasing payments either. So here's all the automated recurring billing, which is another great way to see when your next chunk of money is coming in. So you'll see pending, and you'll see exactly next payment date, so you know when you're getting paid for that. You can also do this with donations. Maybe you have an ongoing fundraising campaign, and a member specifies to you that they would like to donate monthly. They can sign up for this, make those monthly donations, and you don't have to worry about chasing them down for their payments. That is really all we have for the webinar today. It's a short and sweet one. If you do have any more questions on the financial focus section of Member 365, please check out our knowledge base, which is support.member365.com. And you can find articles and videos on how to find your accounts receivable or what to do with those accounts receivable. Everything is there for you to utilize. So please check that out, and thank you so much for joining me today on this Financial Focus webinar. Have a great day, everybody.